Hi everyone, and welcome back to Real Kosher Family Living. Today, like I promised, we're going to show you how to make buttermilk. Buttermilk does not actually contain any butter, despite its name. It used to be that buttermilk was the milk or the whey that was left over from the making of butter. So if you've read Laura Ingalls, you'll know that they churned the butter using a butter churn, and then what was left after they churned the cream and got the butter was the buttermilk. Today we culture our buttermilk. It's a fermented milk product, very healthful, and it's really easy to make, much easier than yogurt. It's the easiest fermented milk product there is. There's a lot of places online that give you recipes on how to make buttermilk, and I'm just going to show you the procedure, and you're going to see how easy it is. There's a lot of advantages to making your own buttermilk. It actually turns out to be cheaper to make your own buttermilk than to buy buttermilk at the store, especially, and this is the second advantage, especially if you're using really high quality milk. So you're going to get a high quality product because you can use whatever milk you like to, whatever is your favorite milk, and we use Glen Creamery whole Creamtop milk. This is a non-homogenized milk, and it is amazingly delicious, and it makes really good buttermilk. It's $4 for a half gallon of this really high quality milk. And if you were going to buy buttermilk, if you're going to buy organic buttermilk, like here we have this organic buttermilk that we're going to use as our starter, this is $3.29 for a quart. So if you're using really high quality milk, it definitely pays to make your own, and you have total control over the process. Alright, so this is our starter, and so what you need is you need a buttermilk starter, and you need some milk to ferment. It takes less time if your milk is at room temperature already. I'm going to move this stool over here, Jessica, so you can stand on it and pour the milk in. Pour the buttermilk in. So this is our starter. Your milk, you can make buttermilk with milk straight out of the refrigerator. It's going to take a lot longer to ferment, so you need to give it an extra lot of time, 8 hours maybe. So what I like to do is I like to heat up the milk in a saucepan, let it sit until it's, or a stock pot, let it sit until it's cooled back down to room temperature. Be careful, if you're having raw milk, obviously you don't want to get this too much above or too close to 140. So you can use a candy thermometer, clip that on the side, and it really only needs to be heated up to room temperature. So if you're stirring it, as soon as it's at 60, 65 degrees, you can stop and use it just at that temperature. Okay, so here we have our milk. You want to use a clean glass container for your buttermilk. You can use, if you get your milk in bottles like we do, you can use a clean milk bottle. You can also use a mason jar if you're making a less quantity of buttermilk. We're going to make almost a whole half gallon here of buttermilk because we use it a lot. It works well in baking. It is delicious in smoothies instead of yogurt if you want to use it there. It just works really nicely in a variety of recipes. So, we have our warm milk here. It's at room temperature. We're going to add our starter to it. You need at least 3/4 of a cup of starter. For this quantity of milk, that's probably better to go with 1 cup of starter. You should be aware that when you're fermenting milk, what you're doing with a starter, you're introducing bacteria into the milk, and these are good positive bacteria. And you really want to give your milk a good chance with the good bacteria. You don't want to let any foreign, wacky bacteria in there that you don't want. Hold on, my oven's going to be on. I'm just going to turn it off real quick. So you definitely don't want to introduce any unknown bacteria into your milk. So you want to make it so that it's a you have a good amount of the good bacteria, and they're going to take over, and they'll keep all the other bacteria out of there. They'll also keep out the mold, which is good. All right, Jessica, pour that in there. Okay. So we're adding our starter now to our milk. There it goes. Good job. Okay. And then you want to shake it up so that the bacteria, the starter, is evenly distributed through the container. You can do this with a lid on a mason jar. Okay. You shake it up. And then you're going to let this sit out 12 to 14 hours if you're using warm milk, and 24 hours if you're using milk out of the refrigerator. Like I said, you really want to give it a lot of extra time if you're using cold milk, because the bacteria won't start growing until the milk is at room temperature. All right, and so we're going to set this out. Oh, the other thing is you don't want to leave a lid on it like this. You want to cover it loosely with plastic wrap to kind of give a chance for the starter to breathe, for all the bacteria that are in there to get a lot of oxygen. So we cover it loosely with plastic wrap just to keep any undesirable stuff out of there, but so that oxygen can get through there. Don't wrap it up tightly, just kind of lay it on the top. All right, so we're going to put this aside, and then we're going to show you one that we already made, so you can see what it looks like when it's done. You're going to notice that the texture of this buttermilk is really significantly different than store-bought buttermilk. So we're going to pour this out, and you'll see how thick and beautiful this is. Look, it's almost like yogurt. It's really, look, it's really, really, really thick. It's so thick I'm having trouble pouring in here. We'll pour out some more. Okay, so this is what texture it's going to have when it's done. It's going to be really, really, really chunky. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. So don't worry, you didn't do something wrong. Very tangy, very delicious. And we're gonna go because Emmett's making a big fuss. But good luck, and let me know how it goes. Bye.